Hey guys, so a few weeks ago we were down in EGX 2018 in Birmingham, just exploring the place, and we got a bit of hands-on with Total War 3 Kingdoms. Now we brought in a bit of an expert, we've dragged him out of the 8-bit debaters and we've stuck him into some impressions because he's the man in the know. So welcome John.
Hello.
It's been a bit weird to see you outside of the 8-bit debaters, to be honest.
I was let out the cupboard. I finally am able to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, we've had to go with our expert because you love the series. I mean, have you literally played through all of them that have been coming out for the past sort of 20 odd years or something?
Not all of them, but pretty much most of them. I think the only one I haven't played is the very first one, Shogun.
Shogun was so good though.
Yeah. I mean, they've done the rehashed version of Shogun 2 as well, which I did play that one. But thoroughly enjoyed them all the way through pretty much. I think the only ones that I haven't played are the Warhammer ones.
I mean, it's good. Like I said, this has gone back to the sort of semi-historical, semi-fictional world, isn't it? Because I mean, I'm not entirely sure of the whole story and setting of the three kingdoms. So, kind of what can you tell us a bit about that? Do you know anything about where it's set and what the story is actually meant to be?
Yeah, well, it's set in ancient China during the fall of the Han Dynasty. It's a historical period I'm not overly familiar with, which is one of the reasons why I look forward to it so much. But in short, it's based on a romantic novel, which is eluding me the name. So this one, when you refer to it being semi-fictional, semi-historic, you have an option to switch or choose actually at the start. So you can go for the classical historical version of it, or you can, which is very much the classic Total War, or you can go for the romanticized version. The key kind of difference is that when you're fighting, you have a general unit, and the romanticized version, it's essentially this unit can take on many other different units and kill hundreds of soldiers and can duel the enemy heroes effectively. It's quite an interesting dynamic because it's never been done before in a historical one. It's pretty much something they brought through from the Warhammer side of things, from what I can gather.
Yeah, because I mean, I got a bit of hands-on with the demo as well. And it did seem like they had the usual unit setup, but they had the individual general, very similar to the Warhammer, with their own special abilities who can cast and just destroy absolute units. So we'll talk a bit about the demo and actually what it showed. So kind of what did you gather a bit from it? Is there anything amazing that you picked up from it, or does it seem fairly standard Total War?
No, there was quite a few differences with it. I mean, graphically, it was absolutely awesome. I do think it's going to require quite a beast of a PC, but then again, the previous one was very well optimized in terms of a mid-range PC being able to run it fine. In terms of gameplay wise, I mean, one of the major things is the hero part of it. That's a massive step away from the usual. But in general, I think the setting and how large it is quite equivalent to Attila. But much bigger than the previous one, Thrones of Britannia. But I mean, overall, I mean, I'd say it's pretty similar in terms of gameplay towards Attila. I mean, it was very difficult, apart from focusing on the heroes, to fully grasp the changes that they're bringing into it.
Okay, so you say overall you were impressed with the demo and how it played, and like it kind of it shows quite a positive step for the franchise.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're kind of giving you the option of either the romanticized or the classical, which is definitely a new step in direction. I also believe one of the things that they've had in for quite a long time is the family dynamics, very much like Crusader Kings 2. I I'm gonna guess that you haven't played that. That's about as
No.
strategic as it gets. I've played a bit of it, but takes a serious commitment to actually get your head around how the game works. Whereas Total War is a lot easier to pick up. But there's a whole family dynamics, and in particular in the history of China at this particular time, you had 3 warring factions, and a lot of them are all families, and they're all related and hate each other and friends with this lot and that lot, and the heroes feed off this as well. So for instance, you can go hire a hero, and normally you'd look at the stats and go, okay, a decent fighter, that'd be much better later on, but he could have good allies or something like that you could benefit off, or you could potentially be somebody that one of your allies hates, so it sours that relationship. There's a lot of dynamics in terms of how the families interact with each other, which I find quite fascinating. It's definite improvement on previous years, seeing as that was a part of the game they stripped out a bit.
Okay, so it seems like this is a big one for the franchise. It's going to hopefully bring a lot of people in. Because like playing the demo, obviously because it's such a vast game with so many different aspects into it, and it is one of those that takes a lot of hours to kind of get your head around and get used to the whole dynamics. Just like the battles is only a tiny part of it. It's then building your army, like dealing with your entire faction, your country, your nation, and then dealing with the finances, the cities, and all that. So the demo showed that it was an ambush setting.
Yes.
Is that something they've recently added in?
No, they've had the ambush thing in for quite a few years. It's quite a good mechanic that you can use to, in particular, in where you're outnumbered or something like that. Because the ambushed army generally has negative morale, so it's easier to make them break. But this particular one, you were being ambushed, and one of the first things I really kind of noticed was the how good the graphics were, because you had archers up on the hill firing fire arrows at you. I can safely say I absolutely ballsed up the first attempt at it that I did at EGX, just because I was admiring the graphics so much. So yeah, you get ambushed, and you fight your way through that particular lot, and then you retreat across a river, and you get hit from the back by another attacking army. So it's quite a bit of strategy, quite a bit of thought. It's not just stock kind of fight, X number of units against X number of units that hit head on. It took quite a bit to think about, right, sit up on this hill or deploy these units in a shield wall in this particular location compared to how they're approaching from that way. I think it was a good representation of how you can really play that game. Quite clever.
Yeah, 'cause I think at one point, because I know you played the demo several times whilst you were there, but we played side by side, and I could just tell that my tactics were nothing anywhere near your tactics, because I am very much a very non-tactical, charge him head on, maybe flank him a bit, very simple stuff. And so I can definitely say for sure that this game is something for people who love the historical kind of aspect of it and being very, very tactical in a military sense, and then those who just love a bit of carnage and high res gameplay. So we'll close off with a few questions. So John, when is this expected to be released, and are you excited for it?
March next year, and very much so. It's definitely one of those that I'm going to be taking a good few days off.
And it does sound good. I haven't picked up a Total War in a while, but you know what? I may add it to my collection now. I've got a bit of a heavy duty PC that I can work it with. So, well, thank you very much for joining us for this little impression. If you do like these videos, we do have our features on Monday. We've recently gone through. We talked about Marvel games, and we've talked about Telltale and the closing of that studio. So do check those out. On Fridays, these videos you can either find impressions or our opinion pieces. They do vary from week to week, so do check them out. And if you like anything you see, subscribe, share all the videos, like them, join our Discord and get involved in the conversation. It's been an absolute pleasure, John. It's just me and you. We're bonding finally.
I've got the baby oil.
Please don't hurt me. So,
well, thanks for having me.
No worries, man. We'll see everyone later.
Cheers.
Bye.